Picture this: a man at the edge of a still lake, casting his line into the quiet water as the morning mist rises like a sigh from the earth. No deadlines, no pressure, just the steady rhythm of breath, breeze, and stillness. That was the moment I realized I wasn't chasing time anymore. I was finally choosing joy. I still remember the morning I traded my usual checklist, errands, obligations, for a slow walk out back, noticing how the light filtered through the trees and lit up the edges of everything it touched. The gravel crunched underfoot, and the air carried that clean, after-rain smell. No noise, no rush, just me, the moment, and the quiet understanding that I hadn't felt in a long time. It was like stumbling across a forgotten trail that somehow led me back to myself. That small morning choice was the first time I consciously picked joy instead of keeping pace with my endless to-dos. And friends, at this stage of life, when we've ticked off countless responsibilities for decades, choosing joy feels almost revolutionary. We've spent so long shouldering roles, parent, grandparent, helper, that it's easy to believe our worth lies in how much we accomplish. Yet the golden years aren't just about maintaining what we've built. They're also about savoring what remains: laughter, curiosity, warmth, and that lightness of spirit we once carried effortlessly. In this video, I'm going to share how, when I deliberately chose joy over obligation, my days began to feel so much richer, my heart grew lighter, and I found a renewed sense of purpose I never expected. You'll hear practical ways to fold small moments of delight into your routine, without adding anything extra to your busy schedule. These are simple shifts you can make today, whether you're at home, out running errands, or sitting with a friend. By the end, you'll have a gentle roadmap to rediscovering those little sparks that make life feel truly alive again. Let's start with the very first insight I discovered: permission to play. It sounds almost silly, play, but bear with me. One afternoon, I pulled out an old deck of cards, the same one I used with my grandchildren, and shuffled through the suits. Before long, I was teaching myself a new card game I'd never tried, laughing at my own mistakes. That 15-minute game broke the rhythm of my routine and reminded me how joyful it is to learn something just for fun, not for any accomplishment or accolade. Play isn't reserved for children. It's a reminder that we're human, that curiosity still lives within us. When I allowed myself those few minutes of unstructured fun, I noticed something shifting inside. My mind felt less crowded, and I had more patience for the tasks that still needed doing. I realized I could meet my obligations with a softer approach, one where the heart and the calendar share space. That sense of balance gave me the courage to say yes to sunshine and no to habits that sucked the joy right out of my day. Little moments of play became tiny rebellions against the idea that productivity is the only path to value. So, what does granting yourself permission to play look like in real life? It might mean digging out a jigsaw puzzle leftover from last winter, doodling with colored pencils while listening to your favorite music, or simply walking a new route around your neighborhood to discover what's blooming this season. These aren't errands. They're invitations to notice the world with fresh eyes. Give yourself credit for engaging in something delightful, even if it feels frivolous at first, because it isn't frivolous. It's fuel for your spirit. In the next part of this video, we'll explore how shifting our focus from have to get to can transform even the most mundane moments into opportunities for gratitude and wonder. You'll see how a few simple language swaps can create a ripple effect of positivity through your day. Stay with me, because the joy we uncover today can become the anchor that steadies us through any storm. A few days after I let myself shuffle those cards, I noticed another shift. The weight of have to that hovered over my mornings began to loosen. I'd wake up thinking, I have to do the laundry, or I have to pay those bills, and my chest would tighten before my feet hit the floor. Then one morning, I caught myself and reframed it. I get to care for my home, or I get to organize my finances so I can enjoy peace of mind. That tiny language swap filled me with a surprising sense of gratitude, turning chores into moments of self-respect rather than mere obligations. By reminding myself that even routine tasks are choices I get to make, I began greeting my day with curiosity instead of dread. When I folded towels, I noticed the softness of the fabric and the neatness it brought to my linen closet. When I balanced my checkbook, I appreciated the story it told, every deposit a testament to years of work. every expense reflecting moments of connection and kindness. In choosing Get To, I reclaimed ownership of my time and saw even the simple things as part of a larger picture of well-being. Here's how you might try it. Tomorrow, when the day starts, catch your first half-to thought. Pause. Take a gentle breath. Then replace it with Get To, imagining the positive ripple it creates. Let it guide you through making your bed, washing dishes, or returning library books. Notice how that phrase softens your shoulders, brightens your steps, and opens the door to seeing life's small gifts. As that habit took root, I found a third discovery blossoming naturally: choosing small celebrations. Joy isn't always found in grand gestures. Sometimes it's tucked into tiny victories. One afternoon, after I spent 20 minutes tidying my overflowing spice cabinet, I paused to admire the rainbow of jars lining the shelves. That satisfying moment felt like a mini festival in my kitchen, so I clinked an empty glass against the counter with a theatrical flourish, as if to say, "Hooray for me." It made me laugh out loud, and in that laughter, gratitude and playfulness bounced together. Celebrating small wins rewired my perspective on progress. Instead of waiting for some major milestone, a promotion, a big party, or a fancy vacation, I found delight in checking off even modest tasks. Did I clear out old emails? That's worth a fist pump. Remembered to walk for 10 minutes on a drizzly day? High five to myself. These little rituals built momentum like pebbles dropping into a pond, each ripple meeting the next until my whole outlook shimmered with possibility. In practice, you might create your own tiny celebration ritual. It could be as simple as tapping your mug before taking a sip of coffee, whispering a word of encouragement after completing a phone call, or standing up and stretching dramatically when you finish reading a chapter of a good book. These playful acknowledgments remind your heart that every step forward, however small, matters. Over time, you'll notice yourself looking forward to the next sparkle of accomplishment. By weaving these approaches together, permission to play, reframing have to into get to, and honoring small celebrations, you'll craft a daily tapestry woven with threads of lightness and delight. When your calendar fills up again with appointments and must-dos, you'll have anchors of joy ready to steady you. Each choice becomes an invitation to live more fully, to see routine through a lens of possibility, and to remind yourself that life's sweetness is always within reach. Next, we'll explore how embracing connection, both with ourselves and with others, magnifies joy even further. I'll share how a simple phone call or a shared meal, when approached with an open heart, can become a wellspring of warmth and belonging. Join me in part 3 as we discover how opening our hearts to connection turns sparks of joy into steady flames that light our golden years. I still remember the afternoon I surprised myself by picking up the phone and calling my childhood friend, someone I hadn't spoken to in years. As soon as her voice came through, laughter bubbled up like a forgotten melody, and for a moment, all those little burdens I'd been carrying felt lighter. That simple reconnection reminded me that joy blossoms most fully when shared. Reaching out to old friends, to neighbors, even to a new acquaintance, becomes a bridge that carries warmth straight into our hearts. When we choose joy over obligation, we open ourselves to moments of genuine belonging, whether it's a spirited hello over the backyard fence or a quiet check-in message that says, "I'm thinking of you." In another gentle surprise, I found that inviting someone to share a small ritual could deepen that sense of connection. One evening, I brewed an extra pot of herbal tea and walked next door, offering a cup to my neighbor as twilight settled in. We sat on her porch swing, the crickets adding their evening chorus, and talked about everything and nothing. That simple act of reaching beyond my own four walls brought me a different kind of joy, one rooted in companionship. In choosing joy, I discovered that our hearts are wired for these shared moments. And every time we lean into connection, instead of retreating into routine, we cultivate a garden of warmth that nourishes us both. But connection isn't only about others. It begins within ourselves, with a gentle curiosity about what stirs our own spirits. I started keeping a joy journal, jotting down one small delight each day. A burst of color in a sunrise, the taste of honeyed tea on the tongue, a moment of unhurried breathing during a midday break. Reading back through those entries felt like revisiting a trove of hidden treasures, reminding me that even the simplest experiences are worthy of celebration. By choosing joy, I learned to honor my own inner world, validating the feelings that make me feel most alive and anchoring myself in gratitude. As I wove these practices together, playful curiosity, the shift from have to get to, small celebrations, and heartfelt connection, my days filled with a sense of purpose and lightness I never thought possible. Obligations still arrived, as they always will, but they no longer define my worth. Instead, I carried with me a quiet assurance that life is meant to be lived with both responsibility and delight. Joy became not a fleeting guest, but a steady companion, one I welcomed at every turn. If I were to sum up what choosing joy over obligation has taught me, it would be this. Our golden years are not merely an echo of our past contributions, but a canvas on which we can paint anew, rich with laughter, curiosity, and connection. We have earned the right to savor each moment, to play, to reframe our thoughts with gratitude, to celebrate our small wins, and to reach out in kindness. In doing so, we craft a life that feels not only full of tasks, but full of meaning, beauty, and possibility. I'd love to hear your stories. Have you ever reached out to brighten someone else's day? Or found a moment of unexpected delight in something you once saw as routine? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else to choose joy today. If this video brought a smile to your face, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more gentle encouragement and practical inspiration. We really appreciate your support. Here's to choosing joy, today and every day, and discovering what wonderful things happen when we do.